What, the cigarette I want? Or
whatever you have, just fire it up.
Yeah, fire it up.
If you got them, fire them.
Welcome into the Winners Lounge. Let's go. We're presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and download the app. Live from the Toyota Winners Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota. Toyota, of course, the official vehicle of DNVR. And we just watched a Nuggets win. That's what we watched. 132-129 in overtime over the New Orleans Pelicans. Somehow, some way, the Denver Nuggets notched one in the win column tonight. Man, do we have a lot to get into. I'm Harrison Wind. I got Brendan Vogt with me.
Hey guys. Well, Nuggets win 4 out of 5. Nothing to see here, right? Keep it moving.
Is it really 4 out of 5?
It is 4 out of 5.
God damn it.
It is, right?
It should be 5 out.
It should be 5 out of 5.
What the hell,
But I'm not telling you it feels that way. I'm just telling you it is that way. Nothing to see here.
That's a D-line right over there.
Guys, we're so close to the new year.
Yep.
It's time to start thinking about how to go about life, starting to set new goals.
New Year's resolutions is what people usually do this time of year.
Anyway, Denver Nuggets, thank you. I've decided to pick up smoking. Isn't that cool?
I mean, I don't blame you.
I've never smoked before, but I'm now going to make sure that this takes me down before the season does.
First ever cigarette, right here, live on the show.
Yep. And plus, I just feel like this downtrodden, beat down by life image that I've cultivated over these 45 years, 46, perfectly punctuated with this limp, wet cigarette.
Limp, wet cigarette. That is Superstar Dev over there.
What do we do to deserve this? What do we do?
Which part of it? The win or the...
We could go a number of ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Well, what we got, whether we deserved it or not, in the end, was a Nuggets win, 132-129. They needed overtime to beat the New Orleans Pelicans, but a win is a win. So, should we do a fast recap here?
Please.
Oh, God.
You know what, Harrison? Take your time with it, dude.
Can we maybe skip the first 3 quarters?
I have so many notes in this fast recap that are just... They tell the story of the game, but they're meaningless now. I mean, my first note, Nuggets missing layups. Kind of set the tone for a lot of the game.
Sure did.
Here's the short of it. The Nuggets had no energy and were lifeless, and Nikola Jokic barely went into the paint for the first 3 quarters of this game. That's how the first 3 quarters went. And Denver was down by double digits for most of this game. It was awful. It was terrible. It was depressing. We wanted to jump out of this building in the middle of Colfax, get run over by a car. It was so bad, man. It was just a disgrace, the first 3 quarters of this game. But, as we've seen happen with this Nuggets team from time to time over the course of, especially this season, the 4th quarter started and Denver turned it on a little bit. I'll just give you my notes from the 4th quarter. Russell Westbrook called the last timeout of this game for the Nuggets at the 11-minute mark. The Nuggets played the last 11 minutes.
That's not true. They had one in overtime.
Without a timeout.
Hold on. That's not true. They had one in overtime.
There was actually a big play in the 4th quarter that I felt like turned the momentum of this game. Jamal Murray hit a 3. At the same time, Julian Strawther got pushed in the back under the rim. They counted a bucket and gave a flagrant to New Orleans. It ended up being a 6-point play. A 6-point possession for the Nuggets. That got them to within 4. And then Nikola Jokic kind of woke up. Got a couple easy buckets around the rim on this guy, Yves Missi, who, unless you're a sicko, you don't know, but
know him now.
He outplayed Jokic for most of this game. And then Denver kind of tied this thing up, 107-107. They took the lead on a Strawther layup, Back and forth the last couple minutes. Jamal Murray hit a big jumper down the stretch
Fire up,
with
Kale!
9 seconds left
Don't do it, Kale.
to tie it at 119.
I mean my cigarette, my limp wet cigarette. Fire it up!
The Pelicans had a chance to win this game on their last possession. Somehow CJ McCollum missed a jumper. End of regulation, start of OT. No Michael Porter on the court. In overtime, we got a finale oop. We got a goaltend that was somehow overturned to take away a Nuggets basket. Denver is up 129-127. They couldn't score, but got enough stops. Jamal Murray got a steal, and the Nuggets won. 132-129. Somehow, some way, they got a win. I'm going to lose my voice, but let's go to big takeaways. Superstar Dev, what's your Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway?
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway in this one was I was a little bit harsh. I was a little bit on Michael Malone in that last game. He made it right in this one. He had to coach his ass off. He went above and beyond in this game, and this game called for him to step outside of the norm. He played Julian Strawther extra minutes, and he earned every single one of those minutes. He played Russell Westbrook 35 minutes. That was a decision that I was up and down on for the entirety of the game, but he played so well that it's like, how do you take a guy out that's playing that hard? And the big one for me was he decided to go with Peyton Watson and Christian Brown as the closer defenders when it all mattered. Who would have thought that putting your best two defenders out there would make things a little bit tough for the other team? They forced a kind of a double team, but an air ball for the last shot, and that's big. So that's the one for me.
And that was a difference from that Portland game, right?
Yeah. This was it.
That cigarette is looking really damp and limp right now. But end of that Portland game, Anthony Simons just really drives by Westbrook, but he didn't have Peyton Watson on the floor, didn't have Christian Brown guarding Simons on that play. We got on him for that, and he had those guys on the floor for the big plays in, the game-deciding moments tonight. D-Line? Other than your new tobacco addiction.
Let me take a drag off my cigarette and contemplate here. What is my big takeaway
Your
from
Red
that
Hawk
game?
Roofing
My
big
Red Hawk Roofing big
takeaway.
takeaway. If I was to look at this game and have a big takeaway, I would say I hate the Denver Nuggets. Like, I am so unhappy with the way that they are approaching basketball right now. It is disgusting. The Pelicans did not have their top, I believe, 6 players.
Wait, what?
At some point in this game, truly.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that in the fast recap. Somehow, I think Trey Murphy died at some point in the third quarter. Went to the locker room, didn't see him again, didn't get an update.
Jamal, no, that wasn't the Jamal play. Huh?
The Jamal play was Herb Jones.
Herb Jones.
Looked like he broke his rib. I think he came back into the game, though.
Yeah.
Herb Jones did. Trey Murphy, I don't know. R.I.P.
What an absolutely disgusting effort from the Denver Nuggets, and yet they won the game. As I said, no lessons will be learned. They'll simply get on the plane. No one will talk about this game ever again. They got a victory. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, if you look at the box score, you're like, wow, they were pretty good. No, they were not. No, they were not. The Pelicans absolutely, at a certain point, the Pelicans were like, all right, there's only 7 of us. We're tired. They won. The Denver Nuggets won. Not a lot to build off of, in my view. I don't really feel like there's a lot you can look at. You can maybe point to the resilience. You maybe point to guys being yanked that weren't playing, guys coming in that wanted it, effort being elevated. We didn't see effort until the last part of the fourth quarter. It was disgusting. They got the job done. It should never have come to that. Congratulations. Fire it up. Let's go. I'm a smoker now.
A win is a win, but if I'm the Nuggets, do you treat this as a loss?
Yes! This sucked. But it should, by all rights, be a 5-game winning streak. I don't know where to be with this team.
Well, I mean, the other thing, too, is Denver is now in a space where if you can lose to everyone, with the West bunched up like it is, avoiding the plan, all these results do matter. So my big takeaway is that those were good Julian Strawther minutes tonight.
Ooh, Julian Strawther love.
Who has had a very bad year, in my opinion. There are some nights where he shoots well, but I think He's been the hardest Nugget to play consistently because his defense is just so bad. And I thought he was really bad in that last game. Tonight, 13 points, 4 of 8 from the floor, but Denver could play him. He played 20 minutes. He played some of those consequential minutes. He was on the floor for some of those big stretches. He played really hard, still prone to defensive mistakes, but he played really hard. I thought there was a much, much better effort from Julian Strawther tonight, who, as chat just pointed out, finished a plus 20 in a 3-point overtime win.
Dude, that's wild.
I focus in on this because...
Worst big single game plus minus guys on this show. We are.
I am. I got to stop because I used to hate it. I really need to. But when it's this big, I'm just saying, like, his minutes went well. And these minutes went equally as poorly in the last game. And so the reason I'm just keying in on it is I think you could argue to this point Julian's been one of the worst consistent rotation players in the league. And tonight, if he was that, they surely would have lost this game. So I thought, there are other storylines, but I thought this was a step in the right direction for Julian in that, Malone wanted to turn to him during some of those big minutes, and they went well. They went well tonight.
Yeah, plus 20 in 20 minutes. What was he, a minus 18
Like
or 16
it
or
was
so
just as
last
bad.
game?
Yep.
So pretty much the polar opposite for him this game. And, yeah, I mean, everybody on the bench, aside from DeAndre Jordan, was in the positives tonight.
Peyton Watson with a great fourth quarter, too. And I actually thought till that fourth he had a rough game.
Oh, man.
But he made some plays down the stretch. And, I almost felt like just obviously not from a bigger picture of the team standpoint, but from in the game, in the moment, from a coaching standpoint, almost looked like Malone got extra excited out there. It was Peyton and Julian in those moments. And so that was nice to see. But, I understand the greater context is... Like, folks aren't thrilled with this one, and I get it.
I am. Dude, they're not fans like I am. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, my Red Hawk Griffin
glad
big
they
take,
won.
like, I could go positive, I could go negative.
Where are we going?
I'll save my negative thoughts for later in the show. I'm going to go positive.
Okay.
Jamal Murray, guys.
Uh-oh.
His last 4 games, 20 points against the Clippers in that blowout win.
Say it.
28 against the Kings, 24 against the Blazers,
Say it.
27 tonight
Say
against the Pelicans. I'm not going to say it. You can't bully me into saying it.
I think
it.
you should say it.
I'm
Say
not
it.
going to say it.
Say
That's
it.
what you should do.
Jamal Murray is quietly
Playing
stringing
better.
together some very impressive offensive games. He's still not super efficient. He's not over 50% from the floor in these last 3 games where
Has
he's
he
gone
done that
for
at all this year?
28, 24, 27.
Real question.
He's done it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. He shot 50% or better.
Harrison, you just did it. He just said it. You guys heard it.
You guys heard it
Jamal
here.
Murray is
I am not
back.
saying he didn't say it.
He just said it. You guys heard it. I heard it, baby. You said it.
I am not saying it.
Take that off.
No. I am not saying it. Officially, I'm not saying it. But he's finding his rhythm. He's finding his stride. Like, he's looking more and more like Jamal Murray. Hit another big shot tonight. And again, he had 6 turnovers. It wasn't the prettiest game from him. But doesn't it feel like you can now at least expect him to go for, 20 plus and be there when it matters? Regardless of how the first 3 quarters look. It feels like you can expect him to at least be there in a close game in a fourth quarter right now and to hit some big shots.
I agree exactly what you said with Jamal Murray is back.
Oh
Because
my God.
truly,
I can't do
He
this.
really has. He's looked like he's back. You really
Bro.
do trust him down the stretch,
do.
and you know that you have a guy that's going to be able to be the 1-2 punch. We have been seeing the 2-man. We have been seeing clutch shots. We have been seeing him make free throws when it matters. He did miss one tonight. That mattered. But you trust in the guy. Like, he looks like his old self. He's also starting to pick it up a bit more on defense as well. Like, I feel like this was truly a matchup that he took personally with DeJounte. And that's a good defender. So, like, Jamal is starting to create separation. He's starting to trust in his 3-point shot to where he took 9 3-pointers in this game. But he looks like he can just score with the best of them.
I don't know about the best of them.
I'm just saying he
In
can
the
score.
fourth, in the fourth, I
the
found-
fourth,
yeah.
it truly
The
matters.
best
That's
of
when it
them on
matters.
the Nuggets.
That
Well,
matters.
So that was another candidate of mine for Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is
But he's back?
no, the Nuggets are fully reverted to, I'm not going to say that word, being clutch time merchants. Like they are fully redacted as clutch time merchants. The difference though is their clutch time punch is not as it's not as good.
Not yet.
Offensively it is. But here's the difference. The championship year, the clutch time punch was a two-way one. They were actually really good defensively when it mattered in crunch time that title year. This year, they have not figured that part out. They are getting to the point where if they play well in the first half, they're probably going to win. If they can get to clutch, they've got a chance. They're probably going to outperform the other team. They've been the third best team in fourth quarters this year overall.
Guess.
So like they offensively, they're back to we've got the clutch stuff going again. But defensively, they've got to be better in the clutch.
Oh.
Because they're just trading baskets, and you shouldn't. Like, that should have been pulling away by 8 and not trading buckets with the Pelicans. So,
Oh, it's ridiculous. Guess how many games Jamal Murray has played this year?
20.
20.
Yeah.
The very figure that Nikola Jokic used to say how many games he was going to suck for until he was B-A-C-K.
Okay, I'm not, for the record, I'm not saying he's B-A-C-K.
I love when you said that.
I don't think he is. He's clearly
telling you-
not, in my opinion. But I think he's trending in the right direction, and that's been a theme, it feels like, over the last few games. Over the stretch where they've won 4 out of 5, somehow. Even though it feels like they've
5 out of
lost
5.
5 in a row.
well, look, because they almost lost to New Orleans again, and they lost to Portland.
Yeah.
And the Portland one felt like it was 7 losses in one night.
Yeah. Let's hit a break. Got a lot more to get to, including what happened over the first 3 quarters of this game. It was not pretty.
Does everybody have a lighter if we're going to go over the first 3 quarters of this game?
And then, especially with all the trade talk, what I felt like was, some very interesting and correct lineup decisions from Mike Malone down the stretch. We'll get to all that in a second.
As soon as my computer wants to work. Can you take this one when I get the next
Shout
one?
out to Verizon.
Vogt is back.
My God, we love Verizon. You guys know I'm a Verizon guy.
Yeah, we do know that.
I've always been a Verizon guy. If you are tired of your phone bill draining your bank account, if you wish you could use that money for something more fun and exciting, Verizon feels your pain. For a limited time right now, new customers at Verizon can get up to $800 in a prepaid MasterCard to pay off your current smartphone loan when you switch. I repeat, $800. You can get that from Verizon. Imagine all the things you could do with $800. It's a lot of money. You could buy a lot of cards of cigs.
I would buy one really expensive cigarette.
You can trade in any phone from their
golden
top
cigarette.
brands with select unlimited plans. Verizon, they give you the 5G network to power your entire day. They've got you covered with their award-winning network performance. This deal won't last long. $800, that's what you can get in a prepaid MasterCard to pay off your current smartphone loan. When you switch, visit your local Verizon store for more details. Check it out. Shout out Verizon.
If you don't like cooking, you can still eat, and you don't have to go out to do it. You don't have to get on DoorDash to do it. You can do it with HelloFresh because they make it easy to cook. They make it really, really, really easy. You get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That is why it is America's #1 meal kit. Every HelloFresh recipe includes high-quality, sustainably sourced ingredients like produce that comes fresh from the farm, and there's always something for everyone to enjoy on HelloFresh's weekly menu. With 50 chef-crafted recipes to choose from every week, plus customizable options to make your meals just the way you like them, you'll be able to easily satisfy every craving. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free nuggets. That's HelloFresh.com/free nuggets. Applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/free nuggets.
And we are back. here in the Winners Lounge, represented by Bet365, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. This, to me, was the real story of the game, though. I'm going to give you this stat right here. Most wins this season when trailing by 10-plus points with 10 or less minutes left this season. The Nuggets have 5 of those. They have 5 wins this year when they were trailing by 10-plus points with 10 or fewer minutes left in the game. The team that has the next most of those wins are Cleveland and Sacramento. They both have 2. Nuggets have 5 of those wins. The team that has the next most, Cleveland and Sacramento, they have 2. That's the story of the Nuggets right now. They give a C-level effort for 3 quarters, and then they turn it on the 4th. Maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose. Against the Kings, they won. Against tonight against the Pelicans, they won. Against the Blazers, they lost. Against the Wizards, they lost. That's just kind of what this team does right now. And I've said it before. I think I said it on the last show. It's not a formula that works in the playoffs. It can work in the regular season. We found out last year when they were also this team that it didn't work in the playoffs. But that's the team they are right now. And I'm probably not going to feel confident about this team until they shed that identity. This come from behind identity. This, oh yeah, we can get back into any game. We're the Nuggets. Like, it's not going to work when it really matters. And so that's just kind of where I'm at with this team, Dev.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. The Nuggets have shown this year that they're not a team that's good enough to just turn on a switch. They're a lot younger. They don't have the same type of chemistry. They don't have the same type of pedigree that they had, in the past of, we're going to just let teams hang around and then we're going to try to turn it on. You can't be that team. And as you adapt, you have to learn to, get out to big leads, have good starts, have aggressive starts where you're trying to blow teams out. You talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers there. The thing about them, they look like contenders. They also have probably the same amount of blowout wins under their belt. So it just feels a little bit different. And then if you're going to go into the caliber of the Kings, that's not a good team. It's just not. So the Nuggets need to learn how to put their foot on someone's neck and not take it off and learn to just win those big games. Those feel good. That's how you get, some momentum under your sails. And that's just what they have to get to.
The thing is, I mean, in that sense, that is another similarity to the title year. We don't remember it now. They did that a little bit, not as this drastic, but they would often wait till crunch time and then they would just be better than everyone. The thing was they were definitively better than everyone in crunch time then. And like I was saying earlier, it was a two-way weapon. It wasn't just their offense would turn up. They would also start getting stops. They can't do that part now. They can get to the final 5 minutes. Jokic and Murray come alive. That part feels very, very similar. But they're not getting stops, so they're not going to win all those games. And to the point you guys are making, I agree. They don't have that same margin for error. And it's reflected when they go out and they take care of business in the first quarter or the first half this season. They win their games. And when they don't, they're in dogfights. So this is why I maintain a lot of this feels controllable to me. Feels like this team can make their life easier on themselves, but they just haven't found the collective gusto and muster to do it. And so they're just eking these games out because they're just good enough in crunch time.
What do you think it's going to take, D-Line, or is this just who they are? Can it change, I guess?
It changes every year. We go through the BJ malaise. Unfortunately, BJ malaise is taking place at AJ this year for whatever reason.
We had a reverse Jokic this year.
Jokic looked like he was in protest mode early on, and when it came down to it, when they really were like, all right, fine, let's win this game, they just fed Jokic every single time down. It was very easy. It was very comical. It was very annoying. They most assuredly have the best closing punch in the NBA. I mean, you can just give it to Jokic, and then if anybody else is going to hit a shot, you're going to be unstoppable. It's super disappointing, but it's just kind of the way it is right now. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence for things to come at all. I definitely feel like I think they gotta bring new life into this team. I really do. I just feel like they are now so reliant on the idea of Nikola Jokic saving them in the end. He's tired of it. They're tired of it. We're tired of it. It's just like they've got it. I mean, we can't be. I mean, this could be worse. Like, we could be the Pelicans, but this sucks.
Yeah. Well, if the Nuggets had lost this game, it would have been on Nikola Jokic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he, like you said, looked like he was protesting something for 3 quarters tonight. He barely went into the paint tonight until the last 5 minutes of this game. He was getting roasted defensively by Yves Misi.
Yes.
A guy who is barely knows how to play basketball.
During the game, we were like, who he play for? Like, the Pelicans.
The Pelicans.
We're in their jersey right now.
This dude was killing Jokic tonight. And Jokic looked like he didn't really care until the 4th quarter. Like, he was straight up selling. He was straight up not trying in this game. Protesting something, I don't know.
Was he protesting his own defense?
I don't know. Something. And look, we know this team rides with Jokic. We know if he sets the tone, the rest of the guys will fall in line. He has not set a tone for the last week, for these last 3-4 games. He just hasn't. Even though the Nuggets have gotten some wins, he just hasn't been the same guy. I don't know if he's tired. I don't know if something else is going on.
We do this every year.
And it's ironic,
so annoying.
too, because there was a stretch there where actually a lot of the starters and top 6 guys were playing well except for Jamal. And now Jamal's starting to get it going in the last couple of weeks a little bit better. And Jokic doesn't seem quite as dominant. And so that's kind of what I meant in the pregame show with the whack-a-mole stuff of just every time you feel like, okay, well, it's just this, and then they do that, and then it's something else. And
no, they really have not put a complete game together this year, I don't think.
The Hawks one was complete.
Hawks one might have been a complete game.
Yeah,
it was.
The one before the break, and then they just had like a bunch of time off.
Yep.
And they've won every game except for the one that they lost by 2 points to the Portland Trailblazers.
Against a bad team.
It just looked like they hated basketball tonight.
Yeah, they look like me. I hate basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of Jokic tonight, Dev?
I mean, I do feel like the energy level was a bit down, and also defensively, of course, he's not playing up to his standards. But other than that, he's still playing incredible basketball, especially in the 4th quarter. Like he had 27, 13 rebounds, 10 assists.
We're back.
And I do think that, like, I'm not going to say protest because, I think there's a message that he's wanting to give. But also, like, you don't do that in the middle of play. And also, if you're going to do that, why not just be vocal about it? Why not just say what you're feeling so everybody else can get on board? So, I mean, I really don't like that. As a leader, if you're feeling something, you should say it. But when it mattered, he turned it on. And it was like, hey, we're just going to go right back to give me the ball every single time. And if you're going to protest or if that's the message that you want, just say it. No one's going to go against saying putting the ball in my hands is how we win that game. Because if you look in this 4th quarter, when you look at when it mattered, they gave him the ball, they let him operate. He either made a pass or he scored very easily. That is something that they could do every single time. I do think that I think he was incredible, especially down the stretch. That matters.
Exclusively down the stretch.
Yeah,
I
would say only down the stretch.
But he was...
Like, he was... I thought he was trash for 3
He
quarters.
was, and he went into the phone booth, and he came back out, and then he was Jokic, and then they just... I mean, like, listen, if Jokic was, like, very motivated in a game like this, we were watching this just imagining that instead of Yves Misi, he was playing against first-year DeAndre Ayton, what he would have done to him. Remember that first game that he played against DeAndre Ayton?
I thought about that tonight.
He got a perfect triple-double.
Perfect triple-double. He basically demoralized him for the rest of his career. He didn't realize it then, but he banished him to Portland that night.
Yeah.
And it just is like, as soon as it was like, all right, we have to score, he's like, fine, score, every time down. Very easy. But I just, like, one of the great parts about parts about following Nikola Jokic in a basketball team is like understanding the psychology of a player, or at least like, I think it's impossible to understand his psychology fully, but just trying to understand it, watching what he does, seeing what motivates him, seeing what makes him like fall back into the darkness, and like how easy it is for him to turn it around. Like, I don't know, man. It just seems weird. Like, all the Nuggets felt like
all the Nuggets are weird.
all the Nuggets. Who has a smart? Cal, do you have a lighter, please?
When you talk about Jokic having bad games or just not looking like himself, it's defensively, right?
Yes, that's what we're saying.
He
offensively.
didn't go into the paint for 3 quarters.
He had 3 shots in the first half.
So,
and he had like D-line guarding him tonight.
Yeah.
but he's getting destroyed on the other end, and then you start to like notice like he's not grabbing rebounds that are out of touch. They're coming into the lane, and it's Olay type defense.
Yeah.
Just not really contesting anything, and that's been like his mantra. But really, it's the defense. It's the defense that makes it seem as if he's just really out of it. Like mentally, it's like a mental thing for him too.
Yeah. We got to hit another break. On the other side, we'll talk about the rest of the starters. Russell Westbrook, who had a big game tonight, and maybe some trade talk.
We got to talk about Porter at some point.
Well,
there's a couple
we'll
more
talk
guys
about
to
him
talk
with the
about.
rest of the starters. Yeah, absolutely. We'll hit all that in 1 second.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K, fellas, like the new Inner Circle membership program. Do you guys like snacks?
I could go for a snack.
You like snacks?
Big snack,
I
guys.
could go for a peach ring like you couldn't believe.
Circle K is they're all about snacks. You can get a lot of snacks at Circle K. They were also along for the ride on our Buff Stampede, so you know they had snacks on that ride.
Oh, snacks on snacks on snacks.
One day, when the Nuggets win 2 championships, we'll get a bus and some snacks.
Where are we going to take our bus?
I don't know. I'm also not so sure about the second championship.
Can you
But here's
imagine?
what I do know. The Inner Circle membership is free. It's easy to download. You give them your email, your phone number, you get fully enrolled. Then they're going to start sending you deals. Deals every day on food, drinks, and more like gas. Sign up for the Inner Circle app with the Circle K. Inner Circle membership with the Circle K app. Receive 25% off your gallon. I'm going to try that again. Receive 25% off per gallon on your next 5 fill-ups. Download the Circle K app and
your
sign up for
gallon.
the Inner Circle for exclusive offers. New offers, purchase clubs, and sweepstakes are uploaded weekly.
Just show up at the like with that a gallon full of gasoline. I'll take this 1 gallon, please.
Here's a gallon.
25% off while you're at it.
Shout
I'm a member of the
out
Inner
our
Circle
guys
Club.
over at Red Hawk Roofing, man. We got a lot of sponsors on this show. Red Hawk Roofing, they're the homies, though.
I love Red Hawk.
They're
Roofing.
awesome dudes. They're more than just roofers. You know, they're Denver sports fans. They're just like you and me.
Smokers.
They're no? I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know them that well. But they're diehard Denver sports fans.
Probably.
And they're also the best roofers around. Seriously, give these guys a call. Hit them up if you have any roofing needs. Home, business, repairing your roof, getting a new roof. If you just want to call them out there and get an estimate on what it would cost to redo your roof, these are your guys. Trust us. They're huge DNVR supporters, so reach out to them if you have any roofing needs. 720-771-8921, redhawkroofing.com. Tell them DNVR sent you. And again, you know, these are our guys. They're here at the bar a lot. They're putting on watch parties here at the bar for Lakers games. They hate the Lakers.
That's
they
the
love
best
the
part
Nuggets.
about them.
They're just the homies. So quality materials, decades of experience. redhawkroofing.com, 720-771-8921. And we are back. The Winners Lounge, represented by Bet365, Never Ordinary, live from the Toyota Lounge. And Nuggets get the win tonight, 132-129 over the Pelicans. Interesting lineup choices down the stretch from the Nuggets.
Bro.
So Michael Porter Jr. had a bad game tonight.
Sure did.
8 points, 2 of 8 shooting. Was invisible for a lot of this game. Just never really looked comfortable.
That's normal.
23 minutes. And the Nuggets had a lineup out there that was working with Russell Westbrook that helped come back late in the fourth quarter. And then they were on the floor for the end of regulation. And then, you know, a lot of times when you go to overtime, a coach will just put the starters back out there, really regardless of who closes the game. No, Porter stayed on the bench. They stayed with that 5-man group, the starters and Westbrook in for Porter, and it worked. And the timing, like it was hard not to notice it, of course, with all the trade talk going on. And it was just an interesting layer to this game. I'll start with you, Vogt. What did you think of just him not being out there and what it kind of felt like?
Well, first of all, it was the right call. It's the right call, obviously, not just because they won, but, you know, Russ's point of attack defense they needed down the stretch of this game. Porter looked checked out to me. He just looked completely checked out. Looked like a guy that's been involved in some trade rumors very publicly for the last couple of weeks, to be honest with you. And, you know, I think Porter's had a pretty good, not great season up until the last week. Last 2 weeks has been pretty rough. Mm-hmm. And last week, I'll say, last couple of games, really, these trade rumors seem pretty poorly timed. It's not impossible for Porter to do this on his own, to disappear, to have a couple of bad games. But to me, it just looked like he was checked out. And I just gotta say, masterful gambit to force feed the media a bunch of smoke about a potential trade you're not sure you're gonna make to ruin the psyche of a good player in the middle of a winning streak. Masterful gambit. That said, Nuggets won tonight, and it was the right call to close without Porter. It was the right call.
I think you're right, man. I think that the weight of all of the conversation that's been surrounding him, this is the loudest it's ever been.
Oh, for sure.
Years past where there's been sort of like nebulous ideas, we should shake it up, make a trade, but it hasn't been as this pointed and this clear and this like pervasive. And I truly think that has to have an effect on you psychologically if you're Michael Porter Jr. But that being said, like, my God, what a terrible game from him. He was invisible in so many ways. He was getting blown by on defense. Obviously he had a few good plays here and there, but generally speaking, it was just like, what is happening? It was like hard to watch. And the fact that he got benched in the biggest moments of the game, leading into overtime, that was the part that was the craziest to me, is that they didn't bring him back at the start of overtime. Like, that is, if you want a damning move given to you by Michael Malone, like, there is no more damning evidence of the way that Michael Malone is currently feeling about Michael Porter Jr., that he left him out for that entire stretch of very important basketball. It's crazy.
Do you cut Porter slack, Dev, because he's been in trade rumors? Or part of me is like, you're a professional, like you're supposed to be able to deal with distractions. You should be able to rise above it, but where do you kind of fall?
I absolutely don't cut him slack on that. Like, that's part of the business. Everybody is. Yes. If you're good, you're supposed to be part of trade talks. You're supposed to be on that, and it's how you perform. That's where it went wrong for Michael Porter Jr. It's loudest right now, and then he puts together a stinker to where it's like, hey, you already are invisible in second halves, and and specifically the fourth quarter. They didn't play you for a full fourth quarter, and it looked good. It looked well. So it's like, hey, we could insert anybody here. Now it's not even like having those tough decisions of, do I go with another star? Because of course you're going to put another star there. It's not about if you put two serviceable guys, because you definitely need the depth. Like, he made the noise like louder. Like, it now is echoing because of a performance like that. And I do think that there was some positives in this game from Michael Porter Jr. He had those blocks. He had a couple of threes. But there was a lot of what the fuck moments. Like, there was a lot of turnovers that you just don't have. There was a lot of defensive lapses where he just looks lost, like completely lost out there. And then also, he turned down shots. And I think that's when they pulled the plug. It's like, if you're not giving us anything defensively, and then you're turning down open shots. And there was the loud play with him and Jokic going back and forth where he turned down the shot and then took a very forced one. Like, if you're not going to do that for them, then they're like, hey, we're going to get defense out there. We're going to do it in different ways. Yeah, the charge is when it was just like, hey, there's just nothing that we're going to do here. So he definitely made it louder. But you don't excuse him for being trade.
But like, what if he's trying to tank his trade value,
or it was just a bad game, right? Which is very, very possible. It's like really easy to get. It's like a nice little neat narrative, right? So it's very easy to say it into the mic. He could have just struggled, but to me, it was the way. Like tonight, he just didn't look like he was on the team, like on the floor or on the bench. That was it, and. some people in the chat saying that's just Porter. I know, there are
That's
lapses.
not Porter.
It's not, though.
That's not Porter at all.
Porter. I know he's prone to some lapses, but this year, I think it's pretty rare that he's as uninvolved as he was tonight. And then also as a teammate, I think he's generally pretty good, to Eric's point, and that's the sense in which he looked checked out to me tonight. But I understand the chat's pushing back, like, he's been benched before, he's still dealt with stuff before, and those are good counters. Maybe it was just a poor performance. He just looked checked out to me.
Yeah. Russell Westbrook, 36 minutes for Westbrook in this game. He closed both the fourth quarter and overtime. 21 points, 5 assists, did have 5 turnovers, but was a +6 in this game.
You got to ask Dev first.
Dev, Westbrook,
closing. Everybody should at some point in their life get an opportunity to watch a basketball game with Dev.
Yeah,
during the watch
it's
along,
a real
whatever.
treat.
Dev had some opinions about Russell Westbrook. I'd love for you to share them with people.
Way to put me on the spot. Like, what if I want to discuss that?
You want to drag?
Let's talk about all the things Dev said that he didn't think would be public.
I like you, Eric. Stuff like that.
I mean, the Russell West. This is not even a Russell Westbrook experiment, really. Like, this is a revelation. Like, he's played so well this year. He has to be on the court. He really has played into being someone that we all had so many questions about heading into the season, where he's answered all of them. He's one of the guys. He finishes, which was not there. He's knocking down shots. He has the cojones to play.
Oh, he's got the
hard
cojones
the entire time. Like, his is all energy every single time. There is no excuses.
I know.
There is no narratives. Every single game is played the same way with the same type of energy. And if he makes a mistake, he is okay making a mistake.
Yes, he is.
He truly does not care. He goes and gets it back. Whenever I see 5 turnovers, 4 turnovers, I go straight to the steals. He goes and gets back what he just gave up. And you want that. You want someone to just forget about the last play and then go make up for it in a different way. My thing with Malone and also with Russell Westbrook, I think he's great in pockets.
Yeah.
I think that at times he plays a bit too long, so where he is having more turnovers, or he is having more mistakes, or the opposing team is starting to read what's happening because now they're stacking the box because he's not a great shooter. They're stacking the box because he's going to go into the teeth of the defense and try to make the most miraculous pass. And sometimes it works, a lot of times it doesn't work. But that's not all on Westbrook. They did it with Reggie Jackson. There's just times that a bench player plays too long and then they figure it out. And that's what it is with Westbrook. So it's not like me going against Westbrook, because I'm one of the highest guys on West. I have been before they even got him.
Yeah.
But I know that them playing them that long makes it difficult. And when I see it happen, you can see it coming. I'm like, turnovers coming.
So you think even tonight, you still think he pushed it too long?
I think that they pushed it too long. I think it worked out this time, but there's a lot of times that it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But he brings what you need, and I know why it's difficult for Malone. He's playing hard. He's playing defense. He's finishing when he can. Why would I take him out? And also, who am I going to take him out for?
Well, that's the thing, because tonight, for most of this game, we were watching this game right over there.
In the mezzanine.
What were we saying? Is Westbrook the only one playing hard?
Yes. And
That's
he was.
the question we were asking, and the answer was yes. For most of this game, Russell Westbrook was the only one giving out any effort at all. The only one playing with any energy. The only one who had anything to do with a spark. The only guy who had any of that was Russell Westbrook. And if not for him, they might have been down, 20 instead of 10 for most of this game.
All year. We said
There's so many games where you could say that.
all year. I'm one of those people. Count me in the group that's going, where would they be without Russell Westbrook? And look, I know that there are some on-off numbers that are his minutes with Jokic are very drastically different from his minutes without Jokic, like almost everyone else. But it's when we talked all year, where's the resistance from Denver? Where's the fight? Where's the give a shit? Russ has had it in abundance. And at times, certain nights, it felt like tonight for long stretches, the only one that does. And, excuse me, when they did close with Russ tonight, alongside CB and Peyton, by the way, Dev, in the fourth, they had their 3 best defenders out there, and they needed it. So He had one of those steals late in the game that it's just like, yeah, he's the only guy on the roster that's making that play.
3 steals for Westbrook and a block.
One of them he had in the clutch. I just thought he's the only one that makes that play right there. And then
And that's probably why he was on.
And that's probably
Anthony
why he was
Simons
on.
last
And they
week.
used him as a weapon when you talk about that play. They took out Jamal. They took out Michael Porter Jr. And it was Russell Westbrook, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson.
Yup.
That's using your guy as a weapon. And then they put Jamal back in for the offensive defense instead, or just closed in different ways. But like that's what you want, that. You need that. Even if he's having a good game, bad game, like they put their 3 best defenders out there and let them get after it. And I love that.
Yeah, the thing about Russell Westbrook is that he makes insane plays. Like plays you're like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Running straight into 3 guys, trying to pass a ball to Jokic through Herb Jones's chest. It didn't work. He just grabbed it. There's just like a lot of stuff where you're like, this is insane, but I love the way he plays. I love that he brings effort. I love that he cares. He's the only person that you can count on that's going to care one way or the other every single night. And I just don't even know, like, it's just something so innate in him. I don't even know if he cares about winning the game so much as just like putting his purpose out into the world, which I can greatly appreciate. It's crazy to me that, he's the veteran. He comes in, you got all these young guys. Somehow he still gives the most effort, which is crazy, but it's also not that crazy because he's one of the best players to ever play basketball. So if you really think, he's older, but he's the older, one of the best players to ever play basketball. It is wild to me how he has not slowed down even a little bit. It's also wild to me how all of these California teams couldn't find a way to use him on the bench. Like, insane.
They're not real teams.
None of them are real teams.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They're
yes,
wastelands of NBA.
Russell Westbrook absolutely
franchises.
saved the Denver Nuggets in this game.
Like he has at different
That
points
reminds
in
me,
this
Kill.
season.
Player of the game.
We do
game
have the
ball.
player of the game. Should we hit a break and we'll get to that on the other side? Let's hit our last break. We'll get to our player of the game and hit Super Chats and wrap up with some final thoughts on this win.
when you guys are hungry,
I'm
do you get
hungry.
hungry? You ever get hungry, D-Line?
I'm hungering for some bird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bird in the box? Anybody say bird in the box?
I don't know about you guys, but when I get hungry, one of the things I think about is fried chicken.
Hell yeah, dude.
One of the first things I think about when I get hungry, which is why I often fire up Bird Call,
Oh baby.
where they've dropped something new. It's the bird in a box, and people are going absolutely bananas over it.
They're going crazy.
Crazy. Here's how it works. For just $9.95, you can build your own bird in a box with your choice of 2 crispy sliders or 1 slider and 2 tenders, plus tots or fries, pickles, and one of their signature sauces.
I'm going double slider.
Or
This
if
is
you
a
like
double
it
slider
spicy,
night.
you can upgrade it to Nashville Hot Tenders. Bird Call was hatched in Denver, Colorado, and now has 8 restaurants across the Front Range with more opening soon. Get over to Bird Call and get your hands on a bird in a box. This week only, DNVR fans can score 25% off any $15 order at Bird Call with promo code DNVR. Get down to Bird Call or order online at eatbirdcall.com. And grab this offer now through the end of December.
Also, shout out to Miller Lite,
Oh hell
our
yeah.
favorite light beer out there. The only light beer that we drink. It's Miller Lite. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. The original light beer to this day, still the best one. Miller Lite has the taste you want. More of that, less of the stuff you don't.
Yeah, dude. I forced almost everybody here to drink a bunch of Miller Lite on Friday. We had more than one tower, multiple towers.
Wow.
I
wish
slept
I was
almost
here.
all day yesterday.
Oh, Miller Lite, they keep it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories, which means you can have a personal tower and not feel terrible about it.
I might do
But
that
feel
tonight.
terrible, not feel terrible about it.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Times change, but you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time to get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. MillerLite.com/DNVR, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets Winners Lounge, presented by Bet365, live from the Toyota Winners Lounge.
Beep, beep.
Any final thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I hated it.
I
Just
know.
kidding. It's actually awesome that they won. The thing about these games is like,
It's okay.
No, but I hate the first 8% of it like everyone else.
Yeah.
But then the last 20% is pretty cool. I will
Do
throw
they
that out
learn
there.
from this win, though?
Come on,
That's
man.
my biggest concern.
No, they don't.
So is it a good thing that they won?
I think yes.
No.
Because I think it's easy to, if you're a coach, to say, this is an embarrassing win. You guys cannot go into these games with this mindset. You guys are not good enough to go into games with these mindsets, and any other team would have beat you. So I think that that's something that you build off of. You can talk about, a comeback, but who's actually feeling good after that on the team? You know what I mean? So I do think that that's something that you could look at and say, yeah, it's good that we won, but you could go through everybody that had a good game for the Pelicans. You could go through having to bench, starters, having to go so deep into, minutes against a team like that on the first night of a back-to-back. So I really do think that there's things you can learn off of this game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Kale,
I feel like we've tried to do that already.
can we at least look at the player of the game, please? Nuggets Nation, it's the friends we made along the way. We get the
my
game ball.
God.
We made it through this game. We became stronger by the Nuggets. They brought us together. They melted us together like so much wax,
Sat
dude.
through that game.
We sat through it. We did it, baby.
All jokes aside, Russell Westbrook robbed
I kind of think
by Nuggets fans.
Yeah. Robbed.
Yeah, man, this was a crazy game. Again, not much to take from it, but it is not like you can give them credit for stepping up when it counted. You cannot
Yes,
give them
you
credit
absolutely can.
for creating the situation that required
Jokic
that
had a
Herculean
triple-double.
yes.
Yeah, he had a triple-double on the finale. Ooh.
God damn it.
Yeah, dude. No. Yeah. If you look at this box score, you're like, wow, Murray and Jokic are
Classic PB&J game.
classic PB&J game. Not to watch this game. This is why you can't understand the NBA by just looking at box scores, because this is very deceptive. But it does tell the picture or tell the story, which is true, that Murray and Jokic can't be stopped when they need to not be stopped.
And you can find that out by looking at a box score.
Yes, you can.
Should we get the Superchats? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You know what? Can I say one more thing?
Yes, please.
2 good bench performances in a row. Did I make
Yes.
that up? Or am I right about that?
No.
Yeah, no, last one was a great
you're
one.
right.
Right?
You're
For the
right.
low bar. For the low, we know what benches they outperformed.
Hey,
But
Nuggets
the
have
bar
found their
is low.
backup center.
The bar is low,
mean-
so...
DeAndre Jordan.
Look, the other guys only get to 5 minutes. DeAndre gets to 10.
We were talking about that tonight. It's actually
It's
hilarious.
insane.
After all the backup centers that the Nuggets have traded for, after all the backup centers that have come in and out of Denver,
Jay
the
Huff.
backup center they've actually stuck with and
Isaiah Hartenstein.
centered on and decided
JaVale
on
McGee.
is DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan.
He's the guy.
In year 38, dude.
Hey, guys.
Our backup
He
center
was there
is
the whole time.
DeAndre Jordan.
For their last
Staring
5,
us in the
boys.
face.
For their last 5. What do we got, chat? What do
What
we
is
got?
this?
Oh, yeah.
So you can make these much bigger. Yeah, you just have to make the window smaller.
If you pull that side over.
Look at this. Can you believe this? We've
Yeah.
lived this
no,
life.
I did.
And then
'cause
you can take that off. Yeah.
I
and
watched
then-
you guys realize that live from the arena. It's the hardest
Yeah.
I've ever laughed.
See, look how big they are now.
I was like, this is
They're
an,
the whole
this is
screen.
an option? What the hell? All right, the first one is from Easy E. Every time I miss a game or don't watch it, the Nuggets win. F.
Hey, congratulations
You
on missing
gotta
that
stop
game.
watching.
Hold on,
buddy.
real fast. Easy E is a real one. They didn't watch the game, but they came straight to the
Oh,
post
that's
game.
true.
Those are the realest ones.
Real
The people
ones.
who don't watch the game but then just watch the
The
post-game
realest
show.
one is Easy E, who didn't have to watch that game.
Right. Just knows he's not supposed to watch the games.
Peter Duck, first shout out to Pels announcers. Their top 3 seconds. Can we just play with effort with our starters this? I'm sorry, I'm really confused.
I know. Their top 3 second.
Their top 3 second. Can we?
No.
Oh.
Pelicans announced
Oh,
their
their
top
top
three.
First shout
His
out to the
second
Pels
the
point.
second
announcers
point,
who
yes.
are top 3. Secondly, can we just play with effort with our starters this year? Third, Jokic is getting me worried with his play.
Peter, punctuation, dude.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Normally, we can blame like not being able to read a super chat and how small it is. That was just Vogt. He couldn't read that one.
That one was tough. I'm glad I watched you try to figure out the super dope hip hop number. When those are really tiny too, you're like, hang on.
Watching Harrison
Forward
melt down in the middle of that was one of the funniest things.
percentage
That was
point.
an out of body experience.
How about S. Williams too? Is
Our
in the building
homie.
tonight? Is Jamal back?
Yes!
Good to
Let's
see y'all
go.
boys tonight.
It is
see
great
you
to see
too,
him.
man.
Also, S3, I can't wait to see how good he gets with this left.
Oh yeah,
Can't wait to see
yeah. Got that
S3.
broken finger, dude. Mr. Exquisite Nugget. No Vogt, no Eric, no Dev, no Win, no Kale. Good show, Adam, if you're out there. P.S. Made a no mix on my page. I'll send it later to DNVR to see. All the Nuggets are good. Is it just you saying the word no?
I bet he's taken clips of us reading his
That's
things
actually
where it
awesome.
says no.
I actually do want to see that. Jeremy, J-Rock, Michael, Harrison, say it.
No.
He's back.
No.
He's back.
No,
I'm
he
not
says
saying
it's
it.
B-A-C-K. You even when there is punctuation, you blow right through it.
I'm
Oh my
not
God.
saying it, Jeremy.
You said it.
I
No,
hate this show.
all right,
That's
I'm
the
not
best
gonna
thing
say
that's
it
ever
then.
happened.
Not saying
If you're not going to say it, I'm not going to say it.
All right, Jeremy will say it for you. I'm back. The Nuggets are back. Say it. He's back.
Say it.
Another one from Josh Barnett from Down Under.
Down Under.
Yes, Wind, you are correct. Jamal is back. No, Kale. Do not fire off the backometer. No, Adam. Don't dog the fellas for the bright lights.
We got dogged by Adam tonight, man.
Pablo Alfaro. My mother gave me life. D-Line's giggles, the will to live it.
That's right, yeah, dude. Also, I'll tell you a little something about you and me and your mother later.
Oh, boy. Where are we? Peter Plummer. Has there ever been a player in NBA history who cannot try for 3 quarters and still finish with
No.
27,
No,
13, and 10?
no, there.
No.
I mean, probably Wilt.
I have no idea what grade to give him tonight. No idea.
I can't wait to read this.
I have no idea. Jeremy, J-Rock, Michael. In all seriousness, MPJ for Zach LaVine, I'm in.
I know.
Hashtag shut up and take my money. Gritty win, but when can we find consistency, guys? Maybe waiting all year. 20 spot from Peter Plummer.
Let's go.
Feel terrible for Mike. He grew here. He sacrificed here. He fully bought into Nuggets basketball. He helped us reach the mountaintop. Unfortunately, I think everyone sees the writing on the wall. I'm going to miss him.
He said I'm going to miss him in advance.
Tonight was a writing on the wall type game.
Tonight,
Maybe he just means he's going to miss him from the starting lineup for a while.
roly-poly, Josh Kroenke told MPJ to be stinky, so teams will pass. Stinky.
Roly Poly also been bullying me the entire show to smoke this cigarette.
Oh.
Really?
Cole Hemstreet, Jamal Loki
If
back.
we gave you a lighter right now,
No.
would you light it?
No, I would not.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I would, of course.
Jamal Loki back. Vote. Yo, we met in Boulder, and I also went to Anderson Pack at Red Rocks. We should hang out. Delon, are you guys hiring for GD? My girlfriend is dope.
Oh, for a graphic designer?
Oh. Hey.
Is that what you
shoot your
guys call
shot.
it in the art world?
A GD?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, look at this GD Dwayne.
And finally, Joe Arrow 27. Feel more confident in Jamal than I did at this point last year. And I don't know why I feel more confident in Jamal than I did at this point last year.
That's what I was getting at in my big takeaway.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
No, listen, like,
So what
okay.
you're saying is,
No.
But no, here, truthfully, no
No.
jokes. Jamal is back, but
Oh,
this
no.
is Jamal. That's this is what Jamal is. He scores 20 to 25 points a game. He makes some questionable defensive plays. He is somebody you can count on at the end, and he's frustrating, and we all can't figure out why he's never going to be an all-star for his entire life. That's Jamal.
Them GDs at the dough.
Yeah, you and your GDs.
Yeah. We
Just talking about players being BACK.
We got to be playing the Bulls, and we don't talk about GDs if we're playing the Bulls. I'll tell you that right
Do the
now.
Nuggets play the Bulls anytime
We
soon?
ain't talking about GDs.
Have they already played? They haven't played the Bulls this year, I feel like, right?
no, they haven't. Thank God Brandon Ingram did. Because if Brandon Ingram scored 33 tonight,
Oh, man.
No, the Nuggets played at 4 teams. They played the Clippers 8 times.
They play the Bulls January 27th in Chicago, and then at home, looks like after the trade deadline. So, yeah. Are we done, Cal, or what?
oh well, here's the deal, guys. We can do this all again tomorrow. Is everyone excited?
Oh, shit, it's a back-to-back.
It's a back-to-back.
Do they have don't they have double back-to-backs here shortly?
Well, they
Dude,
get
the NBA is so
they get
stupid.
Phoenix tomorrow, and then also on Christmas, and then on the other side they have.
It was
another-
worth it for the cup, and you know it.
We
Hey.
played like 2 games in 2 weeks,
Well,
and
we
now
lost
we
to the-
have 2 sets of
Because
back-to-backs
we lost to the
coming up.
Pelicans, eliminating us from the cup.
That was crazy.
Oh, that was a group game, huh?
0-2 split or 2-0 against the Suns.
2-0.
Oh, because they play the Suns Monday, tomorrow, and then Christmas.
Let me see. How many people in my family will I tell to watch the Denver Nuggets on Christmas? Most of them. So they're going to go 1-1. That's what the Nuggets do. Although, listen, the last time the Nuggets played the Suns on Christmas, it gave us one of the greatest moments where Aaron Gordon stole the soul of Landry Shamet, never to be seen again.
You think they're going to go 2-0? What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to go 1-1.
Once. They're splitting it. They're splitting it.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to super producer Kale on the 1s and 2s. Thanks, everybody, hanging out in the Toyota chat. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace.